This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stock Box interview.
Joining us today is Paul Johnson, the CEO of Power Metal Resources. Paul, thank you very much for joining us today. I want to go straight in and just attack the kind of finance situation. You know, this is a thing that people often worry about. You can see the share price and how it's been performing, but how are you set financially?
Always one thing they don't need to worry about with Power Metal Resources. We're in a great position. It's such a great position that we publish it on a regular basis. No companies publish their cash position, their working capital status on a regular basis unless they feel confident. We've always kept ourselves in a robust position. We've always had enough money to do what we need to do. We've never had debt apart from day-to-day paying creditors' invoices on a weekly basis. Actually, we're good payers. So yeah, we're in a great state. We recently published in the quarterly report exactly where we are. We have, so just under £3 million of working capital in that report. We spend it carefully and cautiously, and we're in good control of our finance. So in summation, we're in a great state.
Okay, good to get that out of the way, nice and clear there. So let's move on to the spin-outs, Paul. What can you tell us about that? How are the spin-outs progressing?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a part of our business that I think people are starting to watch and see what happens. There's a lot of expectation that as these events, these spin-outs crystallize through IPOs on listed exchanges, they will add considerable value. People are right there. There's a lot of waiting to see if we can actually do this, which I understand. We have many different spin-out disposal transactions in process effectively, 4 of which are the focus at the moment. First Class Metals, where we disposed of our interest for over £1 million in the Hemlo Schreiber projects in Ontario, Canada. They're pushing ahead to their listing, which is fabulous. We're looking forward to those guys getting on the market. They've got a great tight business package in Ontario. They are really energetic and focused, and we think on market they will trade really well. How much will our £1 million or so be worth when they get trading on market? Well, we're optimistic. We think they'll do a great job, and it could be many millions, but we'll wait and see. We've got Golden Metal Resources. That's the package focused on Nevada, USA, including the pilot mounting project. That's spinning out into its own listed vehicle. We are mid-process on that. Weekly meetings happening, to board meetings and also all the advisors to push ahead with the listing process. We did the £750,000 pre-IPO raise announced in December, which is great because it means that Golden Metal funds itself. One of the advantages of the spin-out listings is that once we do the pre-IPO raise, they are standing on their own 2 feet. So the costs are not being funded by Power Metal anymore. They're being funded by the vehicle. So they also, of course, have the advantage that they add considerable amounts to our balance sheet down the line, which is why we're doing it as well. So Golden Metal's going great guns. First Development Resources, we are just building. This is focused, I should say, on Australian project interest, gold, copper in the Patterson. Remember that little discovery at Greatland Gold, Javier just down the road, and also the uranium rare earths, the CELTA project in the Northern Territory. We're just finishing off the management team for the listed vehicle and also the project package and structuring, and we'll be going then for the pre-IPO raise. And again, that will be its own separate vehicle, pushing ahead with its own advisors and its own momentum. Some great stuff happening there. And then finally, New Ballarat Gold, a corporation, which is the holding co, the PLC for the Victoria Goldfields interests. We're doing the IPO listing process there. We are, of course, drilling also. So there's a lot of attention going on the drilling, and we'll probably talk about that in a moment. So 4 packages at different stages, moving ahead, and there's others in the pipeline, some of which people know about already from previous announcements.
Okay, good. I am looking forward to having a chat with both Oliver and Tristan from GMR and FDR at some point, which would be nice to have a chat with them and get their perspective on things and what they plan to do with the business. But onto the exploration then, Paul, of course, a direct project Where's the big focus at the moment, exploration-wise?
Well, it's all over the world with exploration happening. North America, Australia, Africa. I think I'm a private investor at heart, so I tend to focus on the real chunky stuff. So the drill programs, I guess, are where investors' focus is. It's where I suppose operationally our focus is. We had the drill program at the Tati Gold Nickel projects in Botswana, where we have the 100% interest. That was completed. The samples were sent off via South Africa to Australia. They're in the labs. Australian labs have a bit of a backlog, in fairness, at the moment. So it's any day now we'll get those results, we hope. So, until we get them and interpret what we find and then get the news out to market, we're in the same boat as everyone else, but it's quite exciting. Secondly, we have been drilling in Victoria with New Ballarat Gold, two different areas, Loughlan's, O'Loughlan's, and also Pitfield, and we're pushing ahead with that. That started before Christmas and is now carrying on. And obviously that's mid-program, so it's a little bit tricky for me to say anything about what's happening locally. Victoria Goldfields drilling is always exciting. You see that with other companies, including ECR Minerals, and you can get very lucky in that part of the world with the drill program. So let's see what comes out of it. And then we've just started at Hanetti, our partners there, Katoro Gold and ourselves, drilling 3 holes, 1,000 meters of diamond drilling, 250 circa meter holes and 1 500 into a couple of targets. Very exciting, long-awaited program. So right now we have 3 drill programs, 1 complete weighting assays, 1 that's been running for a few weeks now, mid-program, and 1 that's just started. And then we have others lining up, with Ditau in Botswana, with our friends at Kavango, and there are other programs that will come in 2022. So it really is a focus of drilling for us, I think. And of course, drilling can yield those nice surprise announcements. And we want to put those nice surprise announcements out to market.
Okay, good. Well, I did notice in the RNS for Hanetti that you did say it had been years in the making and could be indeed transformational for the company. And of course, Katoro share price responding pretty well to that. And that does bring me on to the market cap and the share price of Power. 19 million market cap. The share price has been eroding a little bit, I think, over the last week or two. It's easy to blame market conditions, which I do think is a factor at play here, but I don't want you to use that as an excuse for that. So what would you say? Why do you think this is happening for the Power share price? It's just not recognised with everything that's going on.
Well, I am responsible for the share price amongst everything else within the business. So it is on me that, a lower share price and underperformance falls. The reality is, of course, you do get affected by market conditions. We're in a cyclical sector. And it's not so much from our perspective as a business that how much, concerned we are with the market price. It's about how we react to that situation. Now, as an investor, when market conditions get very difficult, and as a company director, we all suffer from the same emotions. We want to kind of hunker down, want to protect ourselves, we want to hide away. Now, we are in a strong capital position. We started out with that just before. And for us to hide away, we don't have to, because we're strong, we can push ahead. We've got projects where we can spend cost-effective amounts of money and make very significant discoveries along the way. Even with the district scale interest that we have, the cost of doing some of this work is not disproportionate. It is a modest amount of our working capital because our working capital is so robust. But it's important to recognize in our business that at the £19 million market cap, there are many companies listed on the market with far fewer interests and a more focused business model, if you want to put it that way, that have a £19 million market cap. At this level, we are not special. We are underperforming given the size and scale, diversity and spread of our business and our financial strength. And for us as a business, our focus, and we have meetings on a regular basis internally about communications, about operations, about financing and all the rest. For us, our sole central focus is push on and keep going, right? Do that work, which is why we don't have one IPO vehicle that we're spinning out and we're focusing all of our attention on so that the market gets comfortable with it. We're doing 4 effectively. at the moment, and we've got more in the pipeline. We don't have one drill program where the market reacts positively because we haven't done a drill program for a year. We did drill programs last year. We've got 3 running right now, and we'll have more soon. You know, we are not a standard business. We are doing far more than the standard business. And what people are ultimately looking for, let's be frank about this, is those major announcements, those corporate events. So when all being well, Golden Metal Resources hits the market and people can see what that package is worth and how it's valued by the market. That's a major event. And you do 3, 4, 5 of them and you start to rack up what they might be worth. You realize we're running into tens of millions of working capital in those in the IPO investments, and potentially in a positive market, vastly more than that. Where people are looking for discoveries. Well, you don't get discoveries by drilling once every 2 years, unless you're extremely lucky. We're drilling literally like a machine across multiple projects. So we are increasing the chance of major discoveries. And we've had a heck of a lot of success already with the drill program, with our project Silver Peak in Canada, with the Malopo Farms project, where we found, the 1.7% nickel assay grade. So we're doing well, but what we want are those absolutely market busting announcements where people go, that is a discovery. And that's what we want from our exploration side, and why we're working in such a disciplined but frenetic manner.
Okay. Well, Paul Johnson, CEO of Power Metal Resources, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stockboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.